Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. And you ladies, I know there's a couple of you out there. Not as many, but you're out there. All right, so we're going to do a quick update on some stuff you guys might want to check out before I get into streaming for a while tonight. Getting over being a little bit sick here. Not to cry you guys a river. Uh, Yesterday was just brutal. This morning was brutal, and I'm starting to get back, and I'm just getting antsy laying in bed all day. So I gotta get moving here. So anyway, we're gonna be doing some coloring at Jesop King. We're actually starting with the flats, so it could be super boring for some of you guys, but I do like to document this stuff as we go. So what you can see on the screen actually here is if you go to my site, jonathanrector.com, you got a whole bunch of links and stuff. If you click the little shopping basket here, it'll take you to, whoops, not there. It'll take you to my Etsy store, and I just wanted to bring it up just in case you guys aren't aware. If you go down, I have some things here you might be interested in picking up or at least checking out. Share it around if you can. All that stuff would be cool. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on there. We got some prints, some custom stuff if you guys are interested. The Venom print will actually be, I believe, in the store, if I have it scheduled right, next week or the week after. And I'll make some noise, obviously, when it comes out for you guys that are interested in that as well, okay? So we got that going. And today, I recorded this video a few days back, but today I hit it and posted it live. Is this one right here? It's a critique. First, in a little bit of episodes that I'd like to get going, and what it is really is it's for you guys and you girls that have critiques. You know how we used to do a Wednesday show where it was just pure critiques. Well, I wanted to break those down into just a video itself. So if you're not shy, you don't even have to, if you just wanted to submit your art without your name, that's cool too. Just email me, jonathanrector82@gmail.com. And if you don't know how to or whatever, again, go to my website, go to my Facebook, go to my Twitter, whatever you need to, reach out and I'll get you an email address. Send some art, a little, like what is it that you want some help with? Okay, and then that way we can get some video going. So that one's already been going good. Already got the first thumbs down, which is great. I expect that video to have a lot of thumbs down because I tried to come across a little aggressive, just a little bit towards the end, but I want it all to be, like I say, the real talk, and I don't like giving you guys bullshit. And a lot of you, not actually no, a lot of you're developing artists slash amateur artists, and you want to get better and stuff, which is great. And I do believe that there is a point where it is good for your artistic health to get yelled at a bit. To try to get slapped around just a little bit, not abusive, just to wake you up out of your stupor of just doing the same thing over and over again. So anyway, check that out if you're interested. And I'd like to get more episodes going. So again, if you feel like you would like something critiqued, and I'm not going to just chew people out all the time. That's not the goal. If it's appropriate, it's appropriate. For most of the time, you guys know, if you've been following the channel for any period of time, the kind of critiques that I do, I hope come across as helpful. Okay, so check it out, submit some stuff, and I would appreciate that. So yeah, it's coloring time. Okay, so we got 3 pages to color. Sorry, I had the mic way down there. You guys might not be able to hear what I was saying. So we got some color. We got to do flats. It's the boring stuff, I know. But we got to prepare the file, get it all set and ready to go. I just realized, too, just by looking at this, I thought I'd already did this a little bit before. I didn't even get the speech bubbles prepared. Good stuff. So just give me a second here. We're going to move some of this around. Normally I like to have this stuff ready to go probably around the line art stage. There's no reason to wait this long. But, it's all good. So we're just moving this around. And why I like having this stuff done already is when we get to inking and stuff that I've already done, you kind of see the space that you need to draw in and what you don't need to draw in, which is great because you can save yourself some time from drawing stuff that you don't need to, Like here, I can actually make this speech balloon a little bit different just to fit more in. Alright, let's try that. Yeah, that's a little better. Now this one's all over the place. You can see somewhere around here is a little bit better. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's a little bit of a busy panel, so... Oh, 1 second, you guys. All right. Okay. That looks fine. That looks fine. Enough we might change. I might change this up here. Oh. All right, sorry about that, guys. Just had a phone call. You know how it goes. Like every time I stream, always get that call. Hey, Monsterism, how's it going? Sean Ray, how you doing? Taunting. I don't think I said hello to you earlier, but hello. Monster. Yeah. Okay. So the lettering. These 3 pages have just gotten away from me. So I thought this was already done. So it shouldn't take too long here. We just got some cleanup to do. But it's supposed to be coloring, is what we're supposed to be doing. So we'll see what happens here. So this guy's speech balloon, when he talks, his text is white. But I want it. I'm gonna try something here. Put the border effect to be white. Probably have to change this up a little bit. Try to get a little artsy fartsy on this. Hopefully it pops a little bit once we get this going. Balloon pen. There we go. So I'm going to just try to draw something in here. So I have to move his over here. So the balloon, we got to switch it up. So line color, we want it to be white. Fill color. Why didn't that work? By drawing, can you add free transforming? Sorry, you can add free transforming to your toolbar once you use the one lasso. Oh, really? Interesting. There's always all this new stuff, always getting that I'm learning about. Thanks, I'll have to check that out. Alright, so why? 1 second here. There it is, that's why. It's clicking the wrong thing. Okay, we want that white, and we want the ground color to be black. This way the text should pop. That looks disgusting. So this I might move just above the panels and stuff. Make sure you can read it. You know, might be a little thick. We'll see. We see once it gets into the color and how it looks. Special keys to summon it. I like the way you talk. Alright, so we're going to merge these ones together, and you'll see. Sweet. Anything else? Nah. Alright, let's get the little balloon tails on them. Where are they? Is this one? Actually, I don't see this. I like these small little trails like that. Yeah, let's merge these two together too. Hey Kevin, how's it going, brother? Yeah, let's go this way. Alright, so we get all that. Now the next thing is we don't have to, I like to do it. So within this text layer, I like to make a new layer and we're going to be filling this white, and this is basically how I get around. It's a gross way, but you see how like we've got all the word balloons in the gutters and stuff? It's just a really nasty way that I do it. I know it's not probably the best or whatever, but it's quick. Usually it works. Okay, so I have that. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the pages because I'm pretty sure they're all going to be like this. This one took a little bit longer because of some of the enough stuff we had to do. So let me just open up the other two pages here. Hey Chris, how's it going? Sean, my brother, how's it going? How's it going? I recorded a little bit of this the other day when I was inking as well, so you guys can get that video coming up too. I was going over the inking, and like in this panel here, I started noticing that I was getting a little bit back into the old school of rendering. So let's turn the credit line off. Cool. All right, so text. I'm pretty sure, yeah, see, same thing. Okay, so let's get all this going. You guys get a little bit of some spoilers of the story. Hope you guys dig it. All right, does everything fit where it's supposed to be? Okay, as you command, that one we're gonna. This one's gonna be a little tough. If I put it up here, I feel like it might get blown out. If we put it here, maybe we'll get the eyes going this way. I don't know how that's gonna, if that'll work. We'll see. We'll take a stab at it, see what happens. This one's definitely him yelling. Let's just delete that. There we go. Actually, let's delete this. Look at that. There's like a cluster of 3 of these things in here. Let's go on Drax. Give me the printer, made some prints for your new animal work. Yeah, dude, those are you're killing those. Those look real nice, man. Are you just making like a series of prints for a show, or are you making them for a convention, or just your online stuff? No, this screen that this guy's in, we might be able to just leave it like that. I think I'm going to change the color though. Maybe we'll make it like a red, like a scream. Know what I mean? Actually, I really don't like this bubble. Let's try another one. All right. So we're just going through here and changing all the text here to white. Oops. Is that a different word balloon tool you use? Didn't know you could draw a short style word balloon. Yeah, it comes default here. I have these, like, if you look, let me just zoom in. See how it's all textured? I wanted it to have a texture to match kind of like the border. So I had to go in there and make the texture and apply it. It's kind of simple once you start farting around with it. But if you want right here, balloon pen, you can make any shape you want, and then it'll do what it normally does with the balloons. And then you can go in there and you can adjust each point if you wanted to. You're making them for for awesome in Washington D.C. I'm going to be working with the booth for 9. Oh, awesome, man! Yeah, awesome. Well, I hope you sell out, dude. Good luck, my man. Boom, boom. Now these are it's kind of hard to see. There is a white outline. When we color it, they'll pop a lot better than they currently are. In case you guys haven't been, seeing previous pages that we did this for. I think it works. We'll see. Again, you can always, one of the best parts about just working on this kind of stuff is nothing's ever finished. You can always go back and adjust some stuff. So we'll see. And we're gonna do the same thing here. All right, turn the text off. Should be good. Okay, we'll save that. We got one more to do. Yeah. Hey, no problem. Hey, Keeman, how's it going, my man? Troy, welcome. 13 hours, a full day, a full juicy day. I like it. Okay. So again, let's just move this stuff around. See, if I was smart, I would have had Jesop more over here, because now if I put it here, it's gonna start breaking up some of this really cool. There's a lot of cool detail happening in the middle here, and I've kind of screwed myself because I go like this. I'm cutting over his head, and you don't ever want to like put a balloon, in my opinion anyway, over somebody's head. Damn. Got to be more disciplined on the next run. And this one, kind of similar to the same problem I had before. We'll center this. Okay. It's balloon time. I think I can actually grab this and add to this too. Let's try it. Yeah, you can. Cool. A lot of screaming going on here. computer's lagging. Okay. I think we're ready to color now. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Hopefully, what do you know what? Okay, I think I asked this before. Anybody that says something like you did there, Sean, and I'm going to call you out. Don't pull any punches. What do you think? Yay, nay? I don't want to say it's garbage, but is it not your cup of tea? Is there something you could do that you think I could do to improve it? All that kind of stuff. I'm always like interested in people that are just kind of getting into it or just checking it out and what's the taste that's left in your mouth after reading the comic. And I'm a big boy. I can take all kinds of criticism. It's just I want to try to improve the story. I know you've been around here, and I'll say it for everybody else too. For those of you that are reading Jesop, once this story is done, I think it's about 55 pages. Once this one's done, we're going to be changing up the format. That's more, in my opinion, appropriate for web, which is like bulk pages of a story, and it could be multiple chapters in a story, and like each updates a chapter of that story, right? Like let's say this one, there's 55 pages, maybe it's the next 10 updates, right? Over the same period of time, but they have a start and an end. Even if the end isn't like they save the day, the end could just be excuse me, where does the story pick up next kind of thing, and I just think it's better that way, especially people that are like if you're checking out the comic for the first time now, that's awesome, right? You get something like 20 something pages in a row, you get context of the story. That's always good, and I'm losing that, I think, with readers that are already there. So when we change that format, it'll help, in my opinion, overall, because people will hopefully engage more with the update as it happens. So the coloring process, here we go. You ready? It's going to take a while. Good old flatting. I might start with a different page just to kind of, get this party started. Normally what I have been doing is just doing flats for everything and then coloring. So maybe it's not appropriate. Anyway, I'm running my mouth too much. Let's get this going here. So we're going to save as. We're going to make a color file. I just do this to keep it all nice and tight. Alright, so what I do is I grab the inks and my line art layer and I combine them. And lately what I've been doing as well is, well, first let me make a duplicate of the window so I can see it on the other screen for my colors. Because Cintiqs, at least this old stuff, the old Cintiqs, the color's not very good. So I recommend getting a second monitor if you use the Cintiq and stuff. Okay, so what I've been doing lately too is I'll go over here and I'll change the line art to monochrome. And you can't even really tell most of the time. But what monochrome does is if you go in here, it's just black and white. There's no gray. And the reason why is it makes the file a little bit smaller. And when you're coloring, not that it matters in Manga Studio because it's Manga Studio. The thing's a beast, right? But what I will do is I'll make a new layer, and then I'm going to merge those ones together. And the reason for this is because I still want this to be a color layer, but by doing what I just did, you can see it's still black and white. It got rid of all the gray, so that I can actually color the line art a color, and you'll see what I'm going to do in a second. So we're going to have to edit, convert brightness to opacity. Hey James, how's it going, buddy? So now the lines can be changed into a color. So let's open up our previous page. I want to grab one that was similar to what we were going. This one looks like it'll be the same color. Alright, let's turn off all of our special effects stuff. Alright, so if you notice, it's not a black, it's like this blue kind of color. So by doing what I just did, when I lock transparency and fill it, it'll turn into like a blue. See, it's very subtle, and you don't have to do that, but you know, if I'm going to be coloring anything, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure in this one it's pretty safe. There's no like red eyes or anything like that. This is a great way. Actually, the guns, I think we had a special effect or something on, didn't we? We'll see. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 panels, so 5 folders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to put P for panel. Panel 2. Actually, you know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do, guys? Check this out. I'm going to show you. All right, so do you guys remember I made that action pack? And I highly recommend you guys check it out. If you don't know what it is, it's a whole bunch of actions that Freddie Williams made for Clip Studio Paint. Or sorry, for Photoshop. And then I remade them, a good portion of them. I think one of them I didn't, into Manga Studio. So you guys can still get that workflow in there. It's real sweet. Check the video out. But I just realized something. This right here, getting this set up for coloring is a bitch. So check this. I just want to show you guys something. And you guys can customize this sort of thing. Let me get my action pack. Should I put it? I'm going to put it in my default one, okay? So check this out. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this over here. And this is why I'm saying check this out. This, you know, for actions and stuff, for those of you that don't really understand or use them that well. I think it's super powerful, and I'm going to give you an example why. I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut down a bunch of time moving forward on these comic pages, okay? Hey, James. Yeah, well, we're doing coloring right now, so I'm just kind of, instead of it just being dead air, I'm listening to music. Everything's good right now. But I know I can't play the music with you guys, so I'm just trying to run my mouth. If you guys have questions, please jam them in the chat, and I'll answer them and stuff, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the process of me making folders to get ready for coloring. This might not work for you guys, might not make sense, but just in case, okay? So what I would recommend doing before you start getting into an action is sort of think a little bit about where you're going to be going, okay? So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of folders. I'm going to rename those folders panels, okay? So panel 1. I think I'm going to go to panel 5 because on average I've noticed I've had about 5 panels per page. I know I can easily duplicate them or whatever, but I'm also going to put probably maybe a layer in there. Or you know what? Maybe I'll put an extra folder in there with an empty layer just to get ready, because I'm sure there'll be something to color inside, right? Just so you guys can see. And this is going to be awesome if it works. I'm sure it'll work, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to make a new auto action, and I'm going to call this one maybe not prepare, coloring folders. And you can always change it. Hit OK. All right, so let's hit record. Okay, so I'm going to just track down here just to see. So make new folder. All right, I'm going to double click in there. Panel 1. Make another folder. Panel 2. All right, so I'm going to stop. Okay, I think I can delete each little thing in here. Yeah. Okay. So now the reason why, and this is why I'm saying, try to think of this stuff as you do it, what's happening is I'm making folders on top of them, on top of each other, but I would like it to be chronological. So instead of also adding all the thing and moving folders down, let's try to get going from the bottom, okay? So I'm gonna basically do this again. So we're gonna make a new folder. You double click in here, I'm gonna call it P5 for panel 5. Yeah, you know what, let's just see how crazy this gets. I don't know how complicated you can get. Let's try it. Panel 3. Panel 2. Panel 1. Sometimes this works, sometimes it don't, right? So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to double click on that and call this color. Now let's see how, this is where it gets super interesting. If I can shift click all this and drag it in there, did it record that? I don't know. We're going to see, okay? Alright, so I'm going to make a new layer, and that's fine. I'll put a new layer, put a new layer inside it, and click and drag it in here. So this is getting super complicated right now. And I don't know if this is going to work, but this is exciting. So I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to put this one in here. This is where, you know, I think it's interesting to do this stuff, because then you get to see how far can you push something to break it, so that you know in the future, right? And then, I don't know if this will do it at all, but I'm going to minimize all that. We're going to hit stop. So it added a bunch, duplicate layers. See how it's saying duplicate? I don't know if it's actually moving them. So let's try this out, okay? So I'm going to, actually no, we don't need to. We'll go here. We're going to go up here to coloring, and let's press play, see what happens. All right, so what did it do? So panel 1, it made a whole bunch of folders. Oh, it duplicated all the folder. Interesting. Okay, so what it's not doing is it's not making... Okay, so what I try to do is embed a folder into a folder, okay? So this... You know, I'm going to answer you guys' questions in a second, okay? Thank you for jamming them in there. So what we're going to do is, again, I'm just going to delete this, and I'll make another one. Coloring folders. Okay, and we're going to delete all this stuff again. So instead of putting all this stuff in there, I got a better, maybe an additional idea. We'll see if this one works. So I'll hit record. Okay, we're going to make a new folder. Would this work? Let's try. I'm going to make a new layer. And then this, I just want to see if this will work here. Panel 5. Then I'm going to duplicate that. And then rename it. Let's see if this works. So I'm hoping you guys can kind of understand what I'm trying to do here. If I could record all of this with the click of a button, I don't have to spend all this time getting this stuff ready, you know? So stop, and let's delete all that. Press play, see what happens. Juicy, check it out. So with the click of a button, I've just made 5 folders that are all, damn it, we're going to have to do it again. See? So what's happening is the expression color is gray, and I need them to be color, and the less clicks I have to do, the better. Actually, let's try something. I'm going to hit record, see what happens. Change it to color. I don't think this is going to work because I'm like moving around quite a bit. But you never know, right? Let's hit play. Is it selected? See, currently change cannot be executed. No. Okay. Sorry, guys. This is last time, then we got it. So delete it, make a new one. Coloring folders. Hit record. Make a new layer. Change it to color. And then rename it. And then duplicate it. And rename it. You know what I'm also going to do here too? I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call this one coloring. And stop. And then what my job would be is the last thing I'd have to do is shift click, move it in there, back. It's just to keep it nice and tight, you know, nice and tight. So let's just take a look here. So if I started it here and press play, let's see if we get lucky. Bang! Look at that, ready to go. Now, I mean, it's a starting ground. Obviously, I'm gonna have to make some more folders and stuff, but all of that from now on, done. You know, like I don't have to, I don't have to spend all this time doing this anymore. How cool is that? And I mean, this is just like an example. I'm not saying this is, you know, the next thing, but whatever works for your guys' workflows, maybe perhaps anyway. Just try something like that. Let's save that up. Okay, let me just catch up with you guys. Jacob, hey John, how's it going? Just emailing my page for critique. Okay, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate the flattery. I will try to record. I think you're actually up next, unless I get some other people. If I do, I would like to spend a little bit of time this weekend, just recording some responses for people. I don't know when it'll go up. Maybe next week or something like that. But thank you, man. Kareem, how's it going? I was wondering, do you enjoy inking digitally or traditional? I myself was hating inking digital to the point where I stopped inking digital. I like, honestly, both. I prefer digital because I feel like my art is better digital. I can be a lot more loose and stuff like that. I have a lot more tools tools for playing around with and stuff. Traditional is fun. I do enjoy traditional. I do find doing comic book work though, because there's a lot more intricate things going on and moving pieces and stacking and foreshortening and overlapping shapes. That digital works really well, at least for me. But like a pinup or something like the Venom we just did, that was super fun to do traditional. And I don't ever want to not do those things, but comics tend to be a very deadline-driven thing. I'm even pushing myself hard for a deadline, even though it's my own thing. And because of that, there's a couple panels I actually did, and I'll show them to you coming up. And it was fun to do that. I was outside doing them. It was great. But like these kinds of panels here, just looking at this, I would not want to be drawing this or inking this traditionally myself. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we got some critiques here from Sean. I like the story so far. I sometimes do want to see Jesop let loose and bust heads, but the story seems more character driven, so I don't want to lose that. The format of just one page is rough. I always want more in C, but you already addressed that with saying making the story more tuned to webtoons. But all in all, incredible. Okay, well, thank you, man. I do appreciate that. What could I say there? So I've been going back and forth with the fighting thing because I love things like Dragon Ball, Street Fighter, just high action stuff, and it's always been my interest. You know, like even when I get client work, I'm like, damn, just people talking all the time sucks. I just want to draw some fighting. And then I've noticed that when I've been drawing, it's like I've been pulling back on the fighting. So there is some fights coming up here, and you'll see, like I do have some story planned for it, and that's why I kind of stretch it out as I do. But I do think that in the next coming stories, we'll have like some fun kind of fighting. Like I'll try to do maybe show other characters doing a lot more action than Jesop is, so I can still get the action without him being the superstar. Because once he turns on the actual action, like what I'm hoping happens is in the next few pages, once he starts kind of fighting, it's pretty devastating and OP. You know, like he's pretty overpowered, and I'm trying to make him kind of like a Superman in a lot of ways. So you'll see him do some stuff, and that's why I don't want to necessarily have him just busting heads all the time. I think I could maybe use other characters to show the busting of the heads, even big muscle dudes or whatever that might be trying to take them out and nothing's really kind of happening. But yes, I would like to inject some more action in this because I do feel like I know I don't have enough, and it's something that I really enjoy and I'm not putting in here. But anyway, thank you for your honesty, man. I do appreciate that. Actions are a powerful tool. Russell's action for selecting colors for my flats. I don't have to each color. K. Michael Russell's is that a action for Photoshop, or is that for Clip Studio? I'm just searching that in the background in case I need to pull it up, try to check it out. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Alright, so for this, like I normally do, I'm just picking a color. Oops. So I just pick a generic color or whatever just to fill in these panels, just to get like started. And these aren't the final colors at all, right? It's just a nice way to get it going. And I find when I'm doing flats, sometimes I can get little holes in my art because it's white and I can't really see it. So if I put like a weird color like this, sometimes it just makes it a little easier. Alright, so I guess we'll start with Jesop. So I'll make a new folder called Jesop. And I'm going to make another layer, color. And this is sort of, I'm showing you why I kind of did what I did. Because I know he's in panel 1, he's in panel 2, and he's in panel 4. So I'm going to duplicate this, put it into panel 2. Oops. And panel 4. I know it probably seems like a hot mess to some of you guys. Jesop, there we go, let's get our green. Let me just start filling it in. Flatting has been pretty easy lately. Getting kind of used to it. It sucks. Like I'm not interested in doing it. It's more like the shading part is what I love. Because then it's just like, it doesn't take too long when we start putting the shadow in there, and it's fun. It's more like drawing when I get to the shading, but it's kind of like, this to me is like the line art. I have to kind of do this. Oh, also, I've been doing a little bit more thinking, some soul searching or whatever. I think we're going to stick to YouTube. I apologize for jumping around with you guys. Like I said, Twitch was a test just to sort of see what's going on, test the water, see what else is out there, possibilities and all that fun stuff. But YouTube is just again, just that it's that auto upload thing is actually pretty huge, and I am noticing that I do get more. I don't want to say attention. That makes it sound a little pretentious, but more people are joining in the streams on YouTube, for better or for worse. And something I definitely do think is the reason for that is, you guys can let me know if this isn't the case, but I'm assuming most of you guys either got a notification, which is probably a good chunk of you, but there's a lot of other people that are just casually on YouTube, kind of like a TV station, right? And they'll come in and pop in, and you never know who sticks around after seeing something like that. We're on Twitch. It's I like a lot of it, but it just seems it's like once I start streaming after around like the 2 hour mark is when people really start showing up, and I don't want to have to always just stream for like 2 hours to build an audience. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hey Matador, welcome buddy. How you been? How's the coloring and stuff going? Felix, how's it going? Right on, Trey. Knees deep in the films, eh? I like it. Look how derpy his face is. This is ridiculous. Look at it. Look at goofball. Chris is saying, hey Chris, how's it going too, by the way? I see it in the recommended videos section of the homepage, or it will show up. Oh, when you're saying the stream? Okay. But when you make a temporary video saying you're currently streaming on Twitch, that works too, since it shows up. Right on, right on. Alright, okay, cool, man. How's the writing going then? Oh, that's a good thing too. Well, thanks, Matt. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you, sir. Yeah, there's been a few people that have picked it up so far. I think you and one other person are the only ones that have been, I don't say vocal about it, not like I want everybody to start, gushing about it, but sometimes you make stuff like that, and I just want to make sure that people are able to use it. There's nothing like really screwing it up or anything like that. But obviously, I'm glad that you're using them and you're enjoying it, man. Thank you, Freddie, and I appreciate it. Felix, I think all your superhero prints should be like the Venom one. I lost my shit when I. That's just it, man. Like, I know you guys haven't seen. There's still Venom videos that have to go up that are pretty much done. It's just they're sitting in queue. If you guys weren't there during the streams when I was doing them, but I appreciate that. And what I was saying is, in those videos anyway, that at least for me, I still haven't figured out, and not that I'm necessarily trying to, but like what the secret sauce is in a print, right? You never know when you get bottled lightning, I call it. You draw something that just resonates with people. Like in my mind, the Venom one is the same as like all the other ones I've done. I think I know a little bit of what you're talking about because I'm trying something a little different with these ones. With like the way I'm shading it and stuff like that. So there might be something in that. But either way, thank you. I appreciate all the people, saying they're digging it and stuff. It's cool. And I think they're going for print or for sale. They'll be going to the printer, I think, next week. By printer, I mean taking a USB stick to Staples. But there should be a stream coming up, I think, next week as well, where we'll be coloring it and all that stuff. Right now, this is the stage that I'm in. I'll show you guys where it's at. I'm just digitalizing. Is that even a word? Digitalizing where all the shadows are based off of what we already did there. So let's go to prints 2017 Vano. Where are we at? Line art 2? No, flats. Possibly. Let me just see what's in here. Yeah, so showing the example here, right? So where I'm at right now is if I turn all this off, turn this back on, you see all the shadows that I've already put in there. I'm just kind of redrawing over them. And then once we're done there, just so you can kind of see, the example that I was given is like that, right? You put it on multiply or whatever. And these aren't the final colors at all, but it's just ready to, it's getting there. It's ready to go. We just got to put some time into it. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all. Jesop still reminds me of a combo of Hulk, Mega Man, and Mario. I like it. I like all of those things you just put there, man. My son was going on about the pose you put Venom in for 10 minutes, if that helps. Hey, no, that's how do the kids say it now? That's straight fire. Daquan's mixtapes. Like I said, if I knew that by drawing a certain way that it's just going to get, gushing feedback, then you make the decision like, okay, well, I guess that's what I'm going to start doing more of, right? But I don't know. I have an idea for the next one to try. But we'll see. We'll see how all this goes. I don't know. Just having fun doing it. So Momo's in panel 2. And that's it. Let's put that there. He's expecting you to... It's like, Dad, you can draw. You can draw anything you see. It's that simple. This music is so good right now. Wish you guys could hear it. I'm sorry. She looks evil. It's hilarious. Alright, so Momo's done. Now we got all the... Joe Matt status? Oh, easy. Easy now. You're throwing around some big words there. Yeah, relax. Calm down. Get a grip. Oops, something wrong with reloading. Well, reload that, please. You're my music. Okay. There we go. Alright, I guess we'll do the Doblins up next. All right, so we got albums in 1, 2. That's it. You know what's funny? I was thinking about this the other day. So obviously I'm whining like a little fill in the blank about doing all these flats. Like, oh god. Before I knew about this autofill bucket tool here in Clip Studio, if you guys remember, there's like a couple ways you can do, or there's a couple ways people in general do flats. You either grab a paintbrush or something and you start manually painting everything in, and or like you start combining it with like what I'm doing right now, where you're drawing in your flats. You know how long that takes? It takes a while, right? So now that I'm spoiled with the paint bucket tool, just kind of doing like a lot of the heavy lifting, it's like I'm still crying about it. It's like, man, I just want like that magic button. I think that magic button that I'm looking for is having just conceding, going, you know what? I'm gonna pay somebody to do flats. That's it. That's it. Once I do there, then this is like serious business. Once we're paying people to do flats. Jacob is asking, you use the single color on a multiply layer for your shading, right? Do you find that style limiting? When I use it, it was fast, but I couldn't pull off the effects I wanted to. I like having 2 light sources, and I was wondering if you found a way to do that with your color style. Well, thanks for the question. So the main reason I color like that is 100% speed. Let's back that up. 95 to 98% speed, and the remaining percent is I like the way it looks. Some people call it like a deadline style. You know, you find what it is you're willing to sacrifice in your style to make sure that you're getting content out. That's what I'm conceding to do there. However, at my day job, sometimes like I'll color. I usually color the same way, but what I do is, so it's sort of like a cell shading look, right? But if we here, let me show you. Like, do you see in this character right here, this lady? You can see where I'm still cutting, and I'm still pretty sloppy, and everything's still cell shaded. But then I use like that watercolor brush to smear this stuff, so it almost gives it like a blur, right? Almost like it's an airbrush thing. And I do think that helps. You don't have to do that, but I think it helps in some areas to soft areas up, right? Like it just gives it like an interesting look. And this is just something that I dig. From here, for the 2 light sources you're talking about, here, check it out. I'll do it right now for you. We'll start with this one. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we'll try it. So if I'm going to grab, I'm just going to use the most generic coloring style that I think of, which is the cut and grad. I think it works well, but you'll see. So let's just say we're going to go green, and we're going to go up into the yellows to make it warm. See, it's a light green already, so it's going to start to look white, but just bear with me here. So for 2 light sources or whatever, let's just, I don't know. I just want to go quick with this. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time. So don't expect don't expect Bob Ross quality here. Okay. So I'm just trying to erase all this stuff so you can kind of see it. All right, so go like there, and the cut and grad is literally using like a a gradient, or you can use the airbrush to mimic the gradient just with pen pressure, right? So if we go this way, right, so you can kind of see what's going on here. And I know it's a little gross. I realize that. Just because we're getting closer to white, and sometimes, well, a lot of times white just looks gross. All right, so this would be like my first light source, let's say, right? Oh, that's why I'm an idiot. Everything's always going gray. That's why. There we go. So let's get some more color in here. Let's bring this back up here. There we go. That looks a little better. Maybe we can go a little lighter. Cool. So let's just say that was my primary one, and then all I would do is I just make another layer, right? And you could do the same thing for a bounce light, let's say. So let's go into, I don't know, like a grayish blue, and this would be where the second light source is coming in. You see? And this is really all I would do. And this is actually what I do, like I say, at my day job. Whenever I have to kind of, if I want to add this sort of look, don't always have to, but This is kind of how I get around doing all that stuff. Maybe that's not light enough. You know, so you see, like you can add a lot of range with just that. But again, I'm just trying to go pretty quick with it. So cell shading works pretty well, and just adding this blur sometimes just gives it like a little extra edge for very little work, in my opinion. Okay. So let's just go back to the way it was. Cool. Felix is saying I've been working on more of my mongrel characters, writing down ideas. Awesome. Good for you, Felix. How's it going? Is it coming along good? Is it going slow? Hey, Peters, how's it going? Do, 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 do. Oh, and I should say here, I didn't even show you. So, like, the last little thing that I'll do is I have just this. This is like the other trick I use as a color balance layer. If I turn it on, you can see how it changes the hue. It like sort of tints it. So I know this is supposed to be like the dark, scary place. So right now I'm kind of tinting towards green, like a swamp kind of area. So when I do that, it changes the tone of the local color. And that gives me like a little bit of range too, like things can get a little more punchy that way as well. And then obviously lastly I add my paper texture, which lightens it up a little bit. It just gives it the little thing. And you don't have to do any of those. Color balance I recommend, 100%. I recommend that in any art you do if you're coloring it. Always add you can just tweak a color balance a little bit and it'll just look so much better. Same with levels. When you're done coloring, maybe just bring up the layer or the level adjustment and just slide it just a little bit. And you'll notice you'll get like a lot of, I don't know, your art looks, it makes things just look a little cool. But just don't go slider happy. I've been that guy for a while. That's not good. Meaning you're using the sliders too much, and like you start to lose the feeling you had in the beginning, and you're just going for like super saturation and stuff like that. It can get a little crazy. Hey Tiger fan, how's it going? Yeah. So far I'm thinking we're sticking with YouTube. Um, for some reason, I actually said a little earlier, it was just primarily because of the auto upload. And it seems like I get more people participating in the streams and stuff here than I do on Twitch. And I know if I spend more time on Twitch, that'll probably like adjust itself accordingly. But I don't know if I want to spend that kind of time. We'll see. Either way, we're sticking with YouTube for now. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident. I might be streaming on Twitch this weekend. I haven't made my mind up yet. The one thing is I don't want to keep bouncing around too much because then you guys get. I'll say you guys get pissed off because like you're bouncing between sites just to check my stuff out, and I don't think I require that much high maintenance just for you guys to enjoy a stream. Yeah. See you, James. Thanks for popping in, my man. All right, let's keep going with the flats. Un flantaigu. Let's just see if we miss any. Yeah, little spots. I forgot what kind of special effects we were using for the gun, so I'll have to go back to a previous page just to see what effects I was doing. Jacob, I see. Thanks, bro. I used the cut and grad also. I picked 2 complementary colors and used a brush set to screen and then color balance out some colors. Don't they? Okay, yeah, no, that's a cool thing. You know what? One thing I'll share with you guys. If you guys are, I don't know if you know this guy or not. I hope so. And his name, I'm drawing a blank. Derek Laufman or Laufman. I'm pretty sure it's Laufman. He's got a comic right now too. I don't know how far along he is on it or whatever. Something World. I forget what Ruin World. And I asked him on Twitter, or what I did actually in the beginning is he offers some PSDs that you can buy, and I like doing that sometimes when it's like an art style that I'm in the same vein of doing. So he does, and a lot of people do what I'm doing, where you just put like one layer on multiply and that's your shading, right? I'll show you here actually as an example. So in panel 1, the color that's the actual shade in this scene, and I don't always use this. Usually it's a purplish something, but it looks like this. Okay, so it's like this pinkish purple, which is cool. And you set it to multiply, and it just sort of harmonizes things. The other thing you can do is if you make a new layer. And you actually go up to, what did he say? It's like a yellowish green, like a nasty thing. And you go down here, and you go to, I think it's add glow. It's different in Photoshop, but what this is, let me just check. Yeah. So it does the same thing as the multiply, but it's a local highlight for everything. So you don't have to always, like, let's say the sun is the light source. You don't always have to start shifting to like light pinks and stuff. Like, check this out, right? So we kind of got the pink here, the green, the yellow. You see how it's doing all this for us? Skin color, gray. And what's really cool about this is like it saves time, and it might not be the color that you want, but you know it's digital, so you can always go back in there and change the color you want. And the whole reason that we're doing something like this is for the same reason we use multiply as a shadow color, because you want to save time and you don't want to color pick. Not that you shouldn't or that you don't have to, but this is just like an additional way that you can kind of do your highlights and stuff as well, right? So let's just say, I don't know, we're going there, everything's looking real waxy. I want to see actually if I use my watercolor to like kind of blur it out, so you can kind of get like the little bit of shading in there as well for it. I don't think it's perfect, but again, you know, this is the beautiful part. You can go in there and go like, you know, like these highlights look a little too maybe fake. So we can just control U and you get your hue, right? And you can kind of change it up a bit. See, maybe we need to make it a little darker. You know, like, there you go. Jesus, everything's like straight white. Bring it down. Maybe it's less saturation is what we need. Or hell, maybe we need to just straight saturation, you know? And you can just play around with this kind of thing. Same thing. And really just those two in combination, I think could give you a lot of range. And to be fair, none of that has anything to do with like airbrush coloring or like painterly coloring, okay? I just want to make sure you guys understand that. Again, the only reason he does that, and I don't want to speak for him, but I wanted to know how he does that because when I'm doing assets for like simple cartoon artwork at work, sometimes, well, a lot of the time, deadlines are the name of the game. So if I have to make like an art asset or something, and I've only got a certain amount of like a day to do it or a few hours to do it, you know, most people probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference between like the correct light source. Like, what am I trying to say here? So instead of picking blue for my light source, let's say, and it's just like that localish yellow, most people don't even notice. They don't, because this is what something to remember too. I'm not saying that that's right and to always just do that because, you know, like sacrifice what's, I guess, artistically assumed to be correct with color, just for the sake of deadlines. But again, if that's your bread and butter, that's how you make your money and your living. You gotta do what you gotta do. One thing that took me a little bit to realize, especially when things come to deadline with color, anyway, is that, you know how I just showed you guys how I did that highlight color? Cool. But if it was just me drawing, I probably would have seen like maybe 2 or 3 different versions. One where I was using blue, one where I used green and stuff. And when your boss or your client or your, you know, whoever comes by to check out, yo, is it done yet? And you're still kind of like, I don't know which color. They haven't seen all the steps it took to get to the decision you're at. So they just assume Most cases that I've found anyway, they just assume that whatever you're showing them, that's not well, it's the best. It's what you decided to come up with. So where that's powerful is, sorry, what I'm trying to say is by thinking or knowing that your audience doesn't know how long it took you to pick a color or to get to a color. So sometimes you don't have to necessarily stress out over what the correct shade was that you were supposed to pick. If that makes any sense at all. Tiger Fan Man. What do you think about sending Patreon people a PDF every 20 pages, like on Free Comic Book Day? Oh, are you asking me, or are you asking in terms of like if like offer your own Patreon, like if you think that'd be spammy or something, or are you asking me like is that something that you're wondering if I could do? Because I've been thinking of how I'm going to break up updates on Patreon once we change the format of how the comic is. Like let's say the comic only comes out like once a month. That's a lot of quiet time, especially on Patreon. And anybody that does social anything, people understand when you're working on stuff, but when people pay for stuff, they like getting stuff. So I have to figure out some way to update at least a couple times a week, like I currently am, with content to keep people engaged and interested. And you know how it goes. Play the game. So we will see. Um, hey Domenico, how's it going? Yeah, it's kind of like a color dodge. Yep. Yeah, Ruin World is a great comic. My editor says. I agree. Tiger, I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. I think your autocorrect is going crazy. All right, so the flats for these guys are done. Well, no, sorry. I should say the base cropping layer is done, or if that's what it's even called. We've got to go in here and put all the colors in there. Yeah, okay. So what color is that? It's been so long since I've seen the color on these guys. I don't even know what. So what? Oh, this is their okay, right? Right? I don't know anymore. All right, let me open up another page. This is the special effect we're gonna have to do too. What color? Yeah. That's what we want. Sorry, send your patrons a PDF of your comic, Jesop King, for easy reading when you complete whatever turn they could. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I could look into that for sure. Since you're a patron, do you find the way that I currently update is it annoying? Does it feel spammy? Again, I don't take offense to any of this stuff. It's all constructive criticism, right? For those of you that aren't patrons, how it currently works is I update Jesop King a week in advance. I have to update the actual Patreon page just so that things are what's it called? Up to date, because the original version is showing artwork and stuff that's not relevant. Either way, if you are a patron for Jesop King, you get pages a week early, and the following day after like a page is posted, I also post the breakdown of that page, kind of like this. I've showed this before. I'll show it to you guys again. Let's go to Patreon. Daily sketch. It'll look something like this. And this is just for like process junkies, right? So it's the thumbnail, and you can scroll down, breakdowns, line art, and then the ink. You don't need to see the color because that's already posted. But I post this like the day after. That's usually the majority of the posts on Patreon right now. Matador is asking, Johnny, you're working at 600 DPI? Thank you for asking, because apparently, yes, I am, and that's wrong. I have to bring this back down to 300 DPI. And I always forget to do this. That's why it's 600 DPI kills my computer for coloring. That's probably why things were taking a little bit longer. Change image resolution. Thank you for being aware. More aware than I was. I draw in ink at 600 DPI. Color is 300 DPI. It's not Sorry, it's not spammy. Sorry, one sec. Okay. He's saying, it's not spammy, to be honest. I hardly even pay attention to Patreon, and I follow like 3 artists. Rather binge than a page at a time. No offense. Hey, no, trust me. No offense. That's why, like what you're saying, I'm glad, because more people are saying this more and more frequently of exactly that. People want to binge read. I do. I know I totally do. The reason why Jesop King isn't currently like that is I was, if you guys even remember, I was debating on doing it that way or doing it this way. And the longer I was debating it, the longer it was taking to get started. And I was like, I just need to get this started. Nothing's final on the internet. I know this is going to change down the road. So stop worrying about that now. Just worry about making pages. Make pages, make pages, make pages. Make pages. Back and forth, back and forth. So that's that's how we ended up anyway, I should say, to where we currently are. Now that I'm 50 pages deep, sadly, and rightfully so, I think people just think this is a graphic novel ready for print because of the mixed messaging I've given people. So even in the future, even after this project, like the next book I work on or the next thing I do, if it's similar to like this, which most likely it will be. I think it's Castle Dracula whenever we move on to that. I'm doing it how this will be, because I want to be posting it online and I want people to share it. It needs to be how people consume content nowadays, and a page a day ain't cutting it. I think most people would be like, let me just sort out to you guys, and feel free. I know there's like what we got, 27 people watching. Please, if you leave a comment, I don't even care if you've never talked in here, be shy, whatever. Just let me know. Would you rather read a page would you rather read 2 pages of a comic once a week, or would you rather read 6 to 10 pages once a month? And those pages too, by the way, in the month period, they will have they'll end on like either a cliffhanger or a final thing, right? Like something that'll want you to come back. I'm throwing it out to you guys. I'm assuming it's going to be the latter, where it's people just want more. Like, I think most people, if they could, yeah, give me like 10 pages a week, obviously. But like in reality, I don't think people still go to the comic book store and buy comics, right? And you're getting like 22 pages a month. And you're getting parts of a story, or at least the full story, and it feels much better. I always like it that way. So my only I don't want to say my regret is just the fact that this is 50 something pages. This first story, in really honestly, there's a part right here. I'll show you guys. This page right here. Whoops. This page right here, page 16, was going to be the end of the first chapter because everything ramped up. The bad guys finally showed up. They got Momo, and then the last person to get was Jesop, and they zap him, and he falls down. This was awesome. This would be like, honestly, let's just assume this would have been like an update. This was chapter 1, right? And next month, maybe you get 10 pages. Like, I can't crank out pages as if this was my full-time job. I know that. So I know updates are going to come anywhere between, depending on like just little stories that I'll tell, anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. I understand that, and I don't want to go further than that. But I think this kind of thing, if this was the first update, you know, I'm not saying I would have gotten more readers or anything like that, because nobody knows what the hell's going to get more readers. However, you know, since the comic was fresh, the other side of it is just post stuff anyway, because right now it's all growing phase, right? So since it's you guys are the only ones that have been around for a while, it's the people that have no idea who the hell I am on these on sites and stuff, that when they slowly start rolling into the comic, you know, like there's 20 pages they can sink their teeth into and whatever. So it's a little, it's different for people coming in later as opposed to the people that have been around. And the people that are around, I want them all to, you know, want to come back. And the story's got to, the way the story is presented has to change to show that. Domenico is saying the second option. Tiger fan, 6 to 10 definitely. You can post one at a time. I just won't read it until you build it. And that exactly. And I don't want that. I'd rather people. My girlfriend's the same. I'm like, please check this out, and she won't read this until this story's done. So it's like the same kind of thing. Pop Poop, how's it going, buddy? Welcome. He's saying he'd prefer 2 pages a week. Okay. Tiger Fan Man, how much do you pay a flatter per page? I don't pay anybody anything to do my stuff. The only time I've ever paid for anybody to do anything was Cyril Vincent, and he painted. He colored my Ninja Turtle, my double page. This, you know, I'll just show you guys. It's easier just to show it than to whatever. And the only reason was because I was behind on making. I had some commitments I had to do, art commitments, you know, and I had a show coming up. And I honestly, I'm not the best colorist in the world, and I never claimed to be. I'm still learning, and I knew if I could get somebody that's a pro, in my opinion, like a you know, pro level artist. And like again, I like what he did. I think he nailed it. I think he should be doing top books, in my opinion. If I get somebody like that, yeah, that's fine. If I get somebody like that to color my stuff, I can still be doing stuff in the background, and that's the only time I did it. So he did this. He killed it, right? Like he's coloring way better than I color. Are you kidding me? In my opinion, like it's a lot of grads and stuff, but it's sick. Like I love it. I think he did an awesome job. This texture work's kind of, you know, suspect, but whatever. Of course, we'll be picky over certain things, right? But I think he killed it. I think he did a great job. As for flatters, I don't know. I've never paid for a flatter. I joke about it just because I know that I could keep drawing more and more. Let's open this one. This one will be a little bit bigger. And he did this one too. Really good work. But a flatter, again, I don't know, because right now I don't. The only money I make off Jesop King is on Patreon, you know, and theoretically I could be using that money to make flatters. That's not totally out of the question. So I'm not sure. And again, I think he just absolutely killed this thing. I love it. You know what? It's funny. You get like a colorist on your work, and like to me, I thought that this whole thing, I'm very proud of it. But when I see it colored, it almost feels like, and I hope this doesn't come across as like ego boosting or anything, but to me, this looks like I didn't even draw it. This looks like an artist that I like drew it. And I mean, it's just a weird thing. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it or not. I hope you all do at one point. And it's very rare. I felt that, I think, 3 times since I've been drawing when other people touch my work, like colored or whatever. And it's an awesome feeling. Awesome feeling. If you want a cheap flatter, there's a ton in the Philippines who do 10, 15. You know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right. I do think maybe like I'd rather. I don't know. Maybe I need to look into it. Who knows? Because the thing is, the flatting doesn't take that long in Clip Studio. It's just, it takes time, right? You guys know that. And I could just be making art. So, I don't know. First world problems, right? I honestly think the main reason though why I haven't really actively looked is one, I'm really cheap. I don't like spending money for something I can do. The part that I have to get over my ego with this is like I don't have to touch everything of this project. Like flatting is something that most people don't even care about. It's literally grunt work, right? That's why people pay colors to do this stuff or flatters to do this stuff because most people don't want to do it. It's not glamorous at all. It's literally, but it has to get done. So that's why it is an important thing. It's part of the process. Um, yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just rambling on you guys. Okay. Chapters. Diamonds and Doblins. Reference. I just need to get the Doblins back up here. Because I forget what part of their... See, there's like a dark... So it's like the trigger part and this thing. I don't know. Let's just move it over here. Boom, 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 boom. When I eventually start my comic, I was thinking of doing one main panel in color and the rest in black and white. Yeah, I mean, who knows how that would turn out? I don't know how. I think most people might prefer just consistency. I don't know. Do your thing. Whatever's going to get you making comics, doesn't matter, right? Whatever it is that can get you making stuff, just do that. Alright, so I think we're going down on this one here. These guns are weird. Don't even really make much sense, to be honest with you. Tell us your thoughts on DBZ Fighter Z. I think it looks like the game I wanted to play 10 years ago. Honestly, you know what? I know I talked a bit about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. A lot of the things that I like about that game is it sounds like it's very noob friendly, like your combos and stuff like that. Street Fighter Five, even though that one is still it doesn't matter. The fighting games that I like to play, I wish I was better at, and this is. I've told you guys this before. My main problem with video games, multiplayer games, and I love multiplayer games are probably my favorite genre, but I can't play them as much as I would like to because I get super salty because I don't have the time. I can't make the time. This is more important to me, but I can't make the time to watch the tapes. Watch what I'm doing wrong, get better, look up strats online, basically play the game. I can't play it as much as I want, so I know that means I'm going to lose more often than not. And that's not, to me, just playing it isn't enough. I'd like to win a little bit more than losing. So because of that, there's games I just can't play. And fighting games, sadly, I can tell are like that. Okay, even though they're next to role playing games, it's like my favorite genre. So when Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, they started talking about like the ease of it and all that. I was like really excited. And then I had no idea about Dragon Ball. I had no idea, and I don't know how cool it's gonna be, like how easy. I hear some good things, but regardless, I'm very excited for it. It looks like it blew my jaw dropped when I saw it. It's like they're finally getting super super close. If not like it looks just like a moving show, in my opinion, and I'm very excited about it. What about you? You guys, are you into it or what? Or are you in the other side, the other camp that thinks it looks ugh, and that's fine too. But just some of the stuff I saw from E3 that I'm interested in is definitely Dragon Ball. I don't even know about Marvel vs. Infinite anymore, to be honest. I think I'd rather just go into Dragon Ball if it's still as good as people keep talking about. Um, Monster Hunter World, I think it was called, or Worlds. That like playing Monster Hunter on a PS4 is going to be insane. I'm looking forward to that. Spider-Man actually looked really cool, even though I know that thing was scripted beyond F. Like that wasn't, you guys know how that scripted stuff goes. That looked really cool as well, and I feel like I'm missing one. The Nintendo stuff was good, but I don't really have a Switch, so and I still don't. I'm still salty about Nintendo, so I don't think I'll be getting a Switch anytime soon. I feel like what's the other? I'm missing something. I looked at it, my heart dropped in a bad way when I heard one button mash combos. Yeah, and I think it's this. I heard what was it? Maximilian talking about that, where you just mash X and stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? Like, and I'll be honest, I'm not the guy. Like, as much as I love Street Fighter, and I love it for all its complexities and stuff, and I'm glad lots of people still play it. Is that it's a tournament, very tournament focused, esports, whatever the crap, right? But I know I'll never myself. I don't go to tournaments. I don't go to FGCs and stuff as much as I would have liked to have when I was growing up and things. I can't make the time to do that stuff because I'd rather be doing this. So super casual stuff to me like is appealing. Even though I know the vast majority of people that really want to play like the big stuff or like have that complicated, gameplay going on, I appreciate all that too. I love watching high level gameplay. It's just that when I do make the time to play, which is rare, um, you know, whatever. Anyway. There's another game I can't remember. Oh yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's the other one. Again, that one's just like it's. I like having a casual shooter to play. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy Call of Duties, but I haven't played one in a long time. I just picking up and shooting some stuff and doing whatever is great. And yeah, I'm interested in that one too. Dave is saying, "Hey Dave, by the way, I think DBZ from E3 looked really good. Almost looked like it was movie quality. Anthem again, yeah, with Bioware, same stuff, RPG, that kind of stuff. I can't. I want to, but I can't. Metro looks nice, like the zombie games. Right on, right on. Tiger fan, I was hardcore to SF4. Best feeling when you learn FADC combos. That's what I love fighting games. Okay, see, that's exactly what I'm saying. They're complex to the point where the more time you spend with it, and I'm in the same boat, dude. Like I'm with you 100%. What I like, even for Street Fighter Five, I kept getting, this is like vanilla Street Fighter Five. You guys know Geef is my main, and I'm not, the problem is always with me, the player, for sure. But I'm like, God, like I'm getting bodied like nobody's business. What the hell am I doing wrong? So the next step you do, right, is you start looking online, like how do you become a better player? And that's all great stuff. It's all great. And I think you should do that, especially for a game you enjoy. Just for me, that means investing time into learning more. And it's so easy to get distracted not to do your work. It's so easy to just load up Street Fighter or watch videos, tutorials. Same stuff with art. You can watch tutorials and all that stuff till you're blue in the face. But unless you're actually like making stuff, or in fighting game terms, unless you're actually in the training room, in the lab, or with some friends and stuff, practicing these combos and setting up things to get better, not necessarily just playing ranked. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's a double-edged sword. And if you guys are able to do it, God bless. Have fun. There were some great 2D DBZ games back in the day, like Budokai. Yeah, if you ever did Super Mario Destroy the Arena. Kareem, have you had a chance to check out the Dragon Ball Fighter Z? Check it out, man. I think you might dig it. I think it's absolutely amazing, personally. As a Dragon Ball fan and as just like a fighting game fan, I think it. Like I don't really myself. I don't really like the 3D stuff. I don't know if it was it Tenkaichi. That's what it was. The Street Fighter ones or the Dragon Ball ones. Where it's very 3D, where you can manipulate the screen and like go after and chase people, and you could hide and charge up and stuff. It was a great time. Split screen, all that stuff was fun. But the 2D stuff, I just like 2D a little. I like 2D better myself. I just don't think my simple brain can handle 3D well. I don't think you get as salty as me. I broke two controllers and Jesus. Kim is saying I'm too true to fighting games when it comes to Street Fighter. Yep, yep, yep. Dave, enjoyed your critique vid, John. Very good. Kicking the button mindset to need a blah, 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 hack. Heck, I needed that to kick myself. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad. I was trying to be a little mean, I suppose, just to sort of do exactly what you said. Just go to jumpstart some people a little bit. Because the majority of the stuff, and you guys know, I don't. If somebody's an artist and they want to be an artist, the last thing I'll do is tell them to stop drawing. What I was trying to say in that video, hopefully it came out across. It seems like people are understanding what I was trying to say anyway. But if you're not, this is actually a great segue into what we're kind of talking about, which is that if you're happy currently with the way you draw in your life, meaning the way you draw, meaning playing video games, hanging out with friends, all that stuff, and you're content and you're happy, you're marginally happy, let's say, then you're fine. Then what I'm about to say doesn't affect you, never will. You've made it. If you're happy, then that's the best thing in the world that you can be, right? But for the others like myself, and this isn't saying I'm better or worse or whatever, just me. In order for me to stay happy, I need to be making stuff, like whether it's sharing content or with you guys or whatever, making comics, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not happy when I'm not doing that. So for those of you out there that aren't making stuff, but you're complaining that you wish you were better and stuff, like you gotta stop that. You got two choices, and they're very simple choices, and it makes your life easier. You either are going to start making time for art and sacrificing, air quotes here, sacrificing shit you shouldn't be doing, so that you can get better at art, or just keep your art as a hobby and do other things and you'll be happy. You just be it don't be in the middle waiting to make a decision, because if that happens, life's just going to pass you by, as all the old people like to say, right? And then you have the worst thing you could have is regret, and you don't want that. So you're better off just being real with yourself, going, okay, I'm going to give this a solid go and see what happens, and if not, then that's okay. Do your own thing. Just and where sorry, I should have just also said where all that kind of fire was coming from, call it that, in that critique video, was just saying that the way that Darren in that case was drawing, or like his current skill set, it's not horrible, it's not bad. It's like fresh. You know what I mean? It's like I say, I think 95% of people that ask me to critique their stuff are still at such an entry level that just drawing will get you out of any kind of problems that I could teach you or recommend, just because it's all fundamentals. And what I get upset about, honestly, is people that are at that art level, and they're looking for a shortcut, or they're asking me to look at something in particular, and you know, there's something that I could provide, like, oh, well, what you need to do is just do this one thing and you're better. Or even worse, in my opinion, is they'll ask me, and what they're hoping I say is, hey, this is great. And what that, to me, the shitty part about that is you're still at such an amateur level that you don't know that your stuff's still amateur. You're asking somebody you look up to, which I appreciate, but you're looking up to me and asking, like, hopefully I praise what you're doing, so that the problem's not you. You know, the problem's just like you haven't had your break or your chance yet, or something like that. Does that make sense? It's kind of a complicated topic, because I still think a lot of amateur artists, they don't really understand what the hell I just said. So it's kind of complicated, but at the same time, I want to encourage artists, like, even though you're at that stage, like, guess what? If it's what you want to do, you're in for a wild ride of improvement and awesome days coming up with headaches and all the stuff that comes with it. But you're still gonna be like a sick artist at the end if you stick with it. If it's what you want to do. If it's not, then don't worry about it, because then life's getting good either way. Because then you get to go do what you want. You're not stuck. You're not stuck being paralyzed. Is really what it comes down to. Yeah, Kareem. Oh, you did check it out. Awesome, man. Yeah, you're right. They did do a whole bunch of that stuff that was just like the show. I was on NeoGAF. I don't know if you guys check out that site. I would check it out. It's a really awesome video game site. I like it. And some people in the forum, on the Dragon Ball forum there, or the forum, they were showing, like, cutscenes from the anime and stuff for, like, wind poses and stuff that they're using in the game. And I was just like, man, that's how you know that this has the potential to be something special. Simply because there's so many companies that get, like, a creative license to something, and they do their own little thing. Like, in my opinion, okay, like the Injustice games, I hope I don't get too much flack for this, but the Injustice games, it's like NetherRealms is taking the superheroes and they're just, like, Mortal Kombating them up, which could be good or could be bad. I don't like it myself, but it's like it's not being true, I suppose, to the where it's coming from, the source material. And I know that could be debated. However, the Dragon Ball stuff to me is just like, this is 100% like a fan made this game that I've seen so far, and that's why I'm saying it. This has the potential to be something real special that I don't think we get a lot of lately. So I'm excited. I am excited. And the feedback has been pretty good from a lot of FGC people too. And I want it now. I want you, 'cause I'm Mr. Vain. I want what I want. Okay, so we got those dudes. We're almost done. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. these pages are just so complicated because of all the little things. But there's a couple pages coming up where it's just a couple things going on. So this is the time-consuming part. You know what? Talking with you guys, I might actually look into hiring somebody to do flats. And so thank you guys for giving me an excuse to talk out loud. So I forget who it was that was asking about that, about like how much, charging somebody from the Philippines or something like that. For whatever reason, I was looking at Patreon, and like Patreon, I'm not going to call it free money here, but it's people saying thanks for all the stuff I'm doing and for the comics and all that cool stuff. I think, like, if I was a smart business person, I would be investing the money into making this even, so right now, I'm very fortunate of this. Again, I don't ever want this to come across nose in the air, ego driven. It floats anywhere from 175 to like 225 a month. People leave and people come, right? If I put that money every month instead of in my bank account, saving and all that cool stuff, which is great. I think I should probably start moving that into Jesop King, like a little bit. I'm not saying invest $200 a month, even though that's not a lot. But that might just cover some essentials, right? And that means getting more stuff out quicker. That might actually be something like, if you guys listen to any business podcasts, like that's what I should do. So anyway, thank you, whoever brought that up. I apologize, I don't remember, but I'm actually, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger and do that. So if anybody's listening over this weekend or the week, I'm gonna sleep on it, just so I can have like a budget in my mind. But I'm gonna make a couple posts over the next week or two to see if there's somebody maybe to fill a position to do that, and then I'll figure out like how much the cost and all that sort of stuff. But I'm actually excited about that, to be honest with you. Dave saying, I just like watching the YouTube Injustice movies. Injustice 2 movie made from the games footage is really what I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out. And to be fair, anybody that's making fighting games, they're great. you know, they're the ones that are. It's keeping a genre around. So I don't want to get too pissy about it. Hey, Chad, how's it going, buddy? You got to spend money to make money. Exactly, exactly. It's just I'm going to be super conservative about it. I'm not going to spend more than I'm bringing in, because the thing is, right now there's no point. Everything's still new. Once this webcomic's a year, like I say, after we hit the 1 year mark, guys, that's when I have to start looking into like keeping what I'm doing going. However, seeing if there's some growth that could happen. And where do I like? Is it advertising just a little bit? I'm not talking dropping thousands of dollars a month. You never know where this stuff goes, right? But right now the key is content. So I actually am, and I'm kind of embarrassed about this. I'm kind of stupid for not thinking about this before. But the Patreon stuff, I should totally be paying somebody to do some flats. It doesn't make any sense why I'm not. Matador, is there a specific way you want the flats done? I know or think there are a few ways of doing it. Again, I'm gonna have to iron this out for sure, but most likely I'll obviously have a video or whoever is doing the flats so that it's not. You guys know how I do this stuff, but probably most likely kind of how I have it done right now. I don't need crisp, perfect flats. I just need like, in my opinion, the way I do flats is super sloppy, right? It's one flat layer here. I'll show you. It's like this, right? So look at this dude right here, this big doblin in the front here, the purple and stuff, right? So for him, all I have is like, it's almost like a cardboard cutout shape, right? It's just I forget, it's like a mask is what I'm making. Then I make another layer, and on that layer, it's this tool right here, clip. So it clips to that mask, and then I just put all the colors in there. I don't select colors and all that stuff, I know a lot of people like to do it, to have that little itty bitty control. Maybe if I end up hiring a flatter, that maybe I need them to do that sort of stuff. I'm not sure yet. This is just hitting me like a lightning bolt right now of something that I feel actually stupid about, that I I honestly really should have been doing this a lot sooner. So whoever said that, thank you. I'm not even kidding you. This might sound pretty dumb to some of you, but like I actually feel like I got a little bit of butterflies in my stomach. As lame as that sounds, just because it's like, oh my god, so I'm gonna get some more time or I can make stuff, because one of the big fears I have is changing the update schedule to being like story driven, right? Because I don't like people hanging on too long. And one of my favorite people to look up to, and I suggest you guys check them out, is that Steve Lichman thing. It is adult humor, I would say for sure, but like from what I've heard is, they were just doing some stuff for fun to learn kind of how to do comics and all that. And if you look at even Steve Lichman, like it's not even, I'm not gonna say it's not drawn well. It's drawn much better now. But in the beginning, it was like the roughest stuff, and it was the story that sold. Go figure, right? The story is what got people interested, and because of that, they started noticing that it's gaining popularity. So what happens? Well, now they start focusing on maybe we can make not a living doing it, but make profit enough to keep doing it, and that's a special thing. And for whatever reason, I didn't put the Patreon thing together, going like this money should be used to keep this going, because that's literally what's happening, right? The $200 a month, we'll say, is people saying thanks or they appreciate or whatever the hell, whatever your reason for support me on Patreon is. Why? Like it's essentially free money, right? Like it's just people saying here. So I could be making a better thing with that money, and I'm not. It's not like I'm on the other hand. I just want to make sure people understand I'm not taking that money and just going like, fuck it, I'm going to the casino. You know what I'm saying? So I just, whatever reason, just didn't click. So thank you. I do appreciate that again. Yeah, anything Dave Raposa, huge fan. Huge fan. And I always joke, and the other guy, the one that does most of the writing, Dan Warren. Yeah. So, anyway, wow, that's like super exciting, man. I feel revitalized. Because now my brain's just going. Sorry, I'm gonna ramble here. You guys are sadly gonna listen to this, but I feel like I just got shot with like a B12 shot. My mind's racing with like potential of like, okay, cool. You know what would be nice if after this or that I could do this and I'm like super hyped about that right now, actually. Yeah, it is. Yes. Charles, how's it going, buddy? Charles is asking, how long does it typically take you to finish a page after script art only? For this project, it's roughly about 5 hours. Actually, it's super quick. There's lots of reasons for that. One is, like on average, there's about 3 to 5 panels. The backgrounds are super simple. They're just scribbled backgrounds. There's no like it's not like I'm drawing New York all the time, okay? And so far there hasn't been a lot of action, so it's a couple characters on the page. Something like this page took me a lot longer. I'd probably say like 7 to 10 hours, just because of all these little characters here. That's it. And it's funny how quickly a lot of this stuff can add up. Now, I just want to also make sure that you understand. Don't be impressed or anything about how long it takes you to do this. I've been drawing for a long time, so I know shortcuts and I know things to get me moving. Wherever you're working, don't try to compare yourself to me or anything like that. You just keep doing you, okay? Just keep doing you. You'll get quicker. It'll all happen. Don't worry. There's no shortcuts. There's no magic along the way. It's just the work, okay? If you want to get faster, you'll get faster. But if you're not fast, whatever that is, whatever that means right now, don't stress out about it. Most successful webcomics say it takes 2 to 3 years for the comic to take off and make the money. That probably sounds right. And the other thing too is like I'm not like if I make money off Jesop King, like Patreon is different, right? Because it's some people that just want art from me, or some people want to have like a Google Hangout. Some people are just giving. I don't know why people are giving me money on there. I do think some of it is from what Patreon I guess stands for, which is saying thanks for making the content you do for like let's say YouTube or something, right? I get all that, but I'm in a lucky situation where right now all I'm doing is this, so I am making money off in my mind I'm making money off of the thing that I'm currently making, which is this, and there's side content that comes from it, right, guys? Like the YouTube stuff. Like if you look, 95% of the stuff I'm making on YouTube is all this. It's all this stuff. It's all Jesop King stuff. It all filters through this. So I am making money off of my comic already. It's just I didn't put those pieces together. And, I'm not doing this to make money. I don't even. My goals for this have just been two things that I've shared with you guys: is to build my audience or my fan base, if I'll call you guys my fans, okay, my homies, to build you guys up so that more people are aware of me, so that they're more inclined to like share me around and on social media and stuff, so that more possibilities open up. Right? The more people that are aware of you, in my opinion, the more people that are aware of you, the more opportunities that could possibly happen. And that's it. I'm just looking for opportunities. I don't even know what those opportunities are because they're not there yet, right? So I'm going to make my own thing. And while I'm waiting to see, and the thing is, I'm not even really waiting. I'm just doing this. So there's no negative to doing a thing. And this goes for you guys too. Like, make something and keep making stuff. Like you'll always get people. And the difference is you just don't know how long it'll take to get that stuff, right? So for me, again, is making something like this and building an audience, right? I want to be a better comic book artist, so make comic books. I'm not waiting or I'm not looking for people to pay me. I can just do this myself. I have a job. I'm not, again, I say that not to sound like I'm rich or anything like that. It's, obviously I'm like anybody else. I could use more money, but I'm okay right now. And that's a comfortable place to be in, because that allows me to just do me for a little while here, okay? And because of that, I get to do this, and who knows what comes from it. And that's really it, Devote like a good solid year, see what happens. If nothing happens, well, I can still say I tried for a year and I was able to do this or that. So there's like zero negative to doing this, which is awesome. Fuck, I'm excited to get a flatter. Oh, I'm really pumped. Thank you again, whoever said that. I know I keep saying that, but honestly, thank you. Charles, do you have any comics or mini comics for sale? I do not. Jesop King is totally free. If you're interested, if you're interested in spending money, if you like, I get you want to have a comic book. I don't have anything that's my own that you could buy. If you go to my store, there's some prints. I do have a small. It's kind of like a mini comic art book. That I did, I think a year ago now, a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I got to make another one that you can get. You can grab that. If you're interested in the comic I'm making right now, you get pages a week early on Patreon for like $1 a month. If you're interested in doing that, there's some commissions and things, but no book like a real life book. And I'm not sure if and when I'll ever make one. I'm very interested in the digital side of stuff, seeing how interesting. I get the tactile feeling. People want to have something that they can hold in their hands. I get that. I'm just interested in reaching as many people as possible, and in my opinion, I think digital is the way to go for that. I know there's people that don't think that. That's cool, right? So I hope there's at least a couple ways there. If you're interested in picking up some stuff, you might be able to find something that you like. All right, let's get this going here. Where's my tunes? My tunes are gone. Alright, let's see why my music stopped. Okay, how long have we been streaming for? Let me just check. 2 hours. That's like unacceptable for this flats, man. Come on. Come on. We're almost done, though. We just got this dude to color, who's pretty simple. The background, that's going to take a little bit of time. We'll see. What the hell? Dave is asking, you're gonna go with a digital comic in trade size and you get enough pages in? Guess you can do Amazon partner deals. So far, yeah, like Comixology or something. I'm interested in checking that out. I have no idea how this is all gonna go. The thing is, like right now, once you're done with like 55 pages, right? I know I keep saying that, but that's the page count that will be at when the story is done and told, which is cool. However, once the next batch of pages come out, I don't know what the hell that means for everything. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. Currently, again, I have no intent on making any physical media, only because I don't have. At least I feel like I don't have the infrastructure currently to deal with all of that. That might sound stupid. I know, but like it for me, it's true. Like shipping, and I hear all these people who's talking about like Kickstarter and stuff, and they get like crates of books and shit sitting around, and like on what are they called, like skids and stuff in their house. And this book's way too early for any of that stuff, I think. Like I don't even think there's enough fans to warrant it. I appreciate the support I do have right now, but I have no idea how many of those people are willing to spend something. Once people start talking about it more and more, then maybe. But since one of the benefits here is, since one of my goals isn't to make money, that'd be nice, but it's not one of my goals for it. That I don't have to worry about. I can just worry about making stuff, make it free. That's cool. It's cool for me. It's cool for people that are interested in it. They'll never have to worry about paying. Not that they would, but whoops, sorry, I got the wrong color here. I'm all over the place. But you can still read the book for free and all that crap, you know. So we'll see. This whole thing, dude, is it's just a learning experience for me. I can't pick the right color here. Oh my god. There we go. I'm brand new in the webcomic world, so I'm just excited to finally be making something, to be honest. And I know the moment I start thinking about making money, I have to activate a different part of my brain to go like, okay, what the hell does that mean? And right now, I'd rather just be worried about making stuff. But yeah, it's a good question though. It does come up a lot, to be honest. And I do think people bring it up because you guys are interested in making stuff too, for sure. Um, and you guys probably want it to replace your job, you know, just make a comic book for a living and stuff. And I do think it's possible, but I don't think I provide any of those solutions or answers right now. There's lots of people out there that are currently doing that. I would definitely recommend reaching out and asking some of those people for sure, because they'll probably have the answers you're looking for. And then maybe you can start your life making comic books as your job. Wouldn't that be awesome? All right, is this right? Is it nice? Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, Jesop's colored, so we just got this dude. Where is he? Right here. So down. So down. You've been asking the Lichman guys to release an overview of what they learned on their book. I'll buy it at a high price. Yeah, man, I would too. I didn't bite on the second book. I didn't bite, kicking myself in the ass for that. I just didn't have the money in my budget to do it. I think you can still order it, right? I might have to just start squirreling away some money. Because the sample he had, like, I was laughing with like Ifrit and stuff. Because I was like, man, this is pure Final Fantasy stuff that they're touching on here. This is great. The fear level, and the guy's like, the giant ants eating him, or at least that's what he thought. Oh, so good. Alright, do I have the color for his mouth at all? There we go. Oh, that's why. Okay. If you are looking for Kickstarter stuff too, yeah, if they release that kind of stuff, that'd be great. But if you are waiting in the meantime, uh, a guy I respect, Tyler James. Check him out at Comics Tribe. They published the Standard and stuff. I met him once in New York. Great guy. But anyway, he has, I think it's called Comics Launch. And he goes over a lot of and they've done a lot of successful Patreon stuff, or sorry, Kickstarter stuff. So, there's a lot of really good, solid information there. I recommend checking that out. I haven't heard a lot of it. I just see it advertised a lot of places. He's putting some money into it, which is great. But that's something definitely I would recommend checking out. I know, like, if I do ever go to Kickstarter for anything, that'll be the first stuff I'll be reading. And it's not just Kickstarter, but I guess he also talks about, like, okay, so what happens after Kickstarter? Like, what are other things that are going to come up that you need to be aware of so that you don't, shoot yourself in the foot kind of stuff. And he's got the track record too, so the information's legit. Alright, how's his war paint go again? I always forget. It goes across. Yeah, let me just move this over here. Let's go here. Hey, Jesop. What's up, Papa? Hey, Jojo Cat. No? Nothing? Okay, let's put this back. And we'll get our background colors in, and then this page will be done. Jeez, it took for a while. Yeah, no problem, man. Not a problem. Oh shit, forgot. Ugh. We're not even. This is a lot of work, this one. Okay. Doblins, Jesop, BG. Alright, let's find. Trying to find the panel that this is. What's up, bud? Okay, we can take like a 5-minute break, you guys. We'll be right back. Let me get this on the screen here. Okay. Hey, Michael, how's it going, bud? Oh no, we'll be streaming for a little while. Trying to get the flats for all these pages done, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you? Where the hell? There we go. Couldn't find my Stelios. Alright, let's color this stuff up here. Oops. See you later, Jax. Appreciate it, buddy. Well played, Michael. Well played. See you later, Jax. Good night, bud. Whoops, that color's wrong. There we go. Matador is asking, stupid question. Do you draw concepts first, then write, or vice versa? Not a stupid question, man. Not a stupid question at all. I do both. Sometimes ideas start with sketches, something that'd be cool, and then trying to figure out how to make a story for that. And then sometimes it's make the story and then make the concept. So a couple examples I guess I could give you. So this dude that's coming up, I don't know if is he on? No, the next page. This guy. Whatever, you'll see him. He's like the big Cyclops kind of looking dude. So I knew when I wrote the story that I needed Jesop to go against somebody big, but I hadn't designed him yet. So as you know, I kind of had to rush the design. I talked about it on Patreon. I'm not trying to push you there, but on there I did talk about having to cut corners, like especially I find when you're working or that I have found anyway, since I've been making this comic, or anything you do that's very like tight deadline wise, you kind of have to trust in your abilities. If you can give yourself a lot of time to design whatever, no matter what, I think inherently your stuff will look better. Like your comic will look better, and more people will be like more into it, just because you're spending more time doing design. However, if you're working like kind of like I am, where everything's deadline driven, and you want to make more pages, whatever, it doesn't matter. You have to kind of cut corners. So in that video, I talked about, or not in that video, it wasn't a video, it was just like a generic post. I was showing, like, okay, well, I'm only giving myself 3 designs to choose from. This is it. I can't go back from any of this, and I just have to be okay with picking whatever one to show up. So the big guy that we have right now is the one I went with, and then I just had to sort of write him into the story. I had the plot written out, like the beats and stuff like that, so I knew where it was going. I just didn't know how what kind of vehicle we were driving in. If I could give this like some lame terminology here. So no, not a stupid question at all, and I think it goes both ways. Are you speaking of the mythical? Yeah, the Cyclops. Yeah, he's a Doblin Cyclops, and I just needed somebody that was like a big muscle kind of guy that Jesop could compete with. Right? It's just storytelling stuff that I'm doing. I'm not. Again, I say it all the time. I'm not doing Shakespeare at all. I'm doing the furthest thing from it. And we've got a big muscle guy like Jesop. If he's going to fight somebody, putting him against somebody like Momo just seems kind of silly. So or I'm choosing anyway to put him against like a big muscle dude. Hmm. Didn't we? Oh, interesting. So when we changed it from D, I get it. Cool. Okay. Sorry, just talking to myself on some of this. John, were you talking about all your unused pieces that you showed a while ago? For new? Oh no, that was my art book. That's actually a good example too. I don't know when that video is going to go back out, but Matador, what Troy's talking about there is I went through an old art book that I had, and I saw these little things, and I was like, I forgot about these guys, forgot about this, and a lot of them I think I'm suggesting I do is either write them into the story, or better yet, is like the story is already written and I just need a design for it, so I can kind of take the designs I've already done and maybe adjust them a little bit. A lot of the hard work was already kind of done, So that. But yes, on the other hand, a lot of the stuff I do is just kind of like as it's needed. Okay. All right. I think we made it. Well, no, we still got some of this other background stuff, but we're damn near close. All right. Oh, man. Sniffles. Oh, damn. Allergies have been pretty bad this year. It sucks. Hey Daniel, how's it going, buddy? Did you get Injustice 2? I know you like Mortal Kombat since it's Sub-Zero. I liked Mortal Kombat. I haven't liked Mortal Kombat in quite a while. Like when Mortal Kombat came back out, frig, what, like almost 7 years ago now? You know, Mortal Kombat when it was the reboot, that was sick. But I haven't. I've just fallen off the bandwagon with Mortal Kombat. I do like it. I still have fond memories of like Mortal Kombat 2 and stuff. But I never liked Injustice, and no, I'm glad people do, but Injustice isn't a game for me. Oh man. Look how sloppy that liner. That blue goes way out of it. That's hilarious. Michael, I'm still all about the Uncanny X-Men. Ooh, yeah. Love playing. Oh, was it Cyclops? He was my shit, man. Okay, let's get this crap going. All right, let's put this back. Do 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 do. From 11 to 5. Boy from school. I forgot all about his buddies in the background. Man, I'm slacking today. These flats just they take it out of you. On Interstate 5. Hey, Key guy, how's it going, buddy? Gonna catch you once. Clinton, I just stopped at my local library to see if they had a copy of these. Did they have one? Did they have a copy or no? Were you let down? Question: What do you think about Mike Deodato Jr.? I think it's amazing. I have a soft spot in my heart for him because I shared this story before. When I was looking for work, maybe 10 years ago, around there, I started noticing a shift of people only looking to hire artists for their like 5 to 12 page pitches to companies that could ink their own work, and I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money doing that. Anyway, so you just look around, and eventually I found I didn't know who Mike Deodato was at the time. I just knew he was a Marvel artist because I saw his DeviantArt account, and he had a comment that he left on one of his pages, which was amazing. It looked totally inked, and he was just like, pencils darkened in Photoshop, some X-Men page or whatever. And I was like, holy shit, that's what I need because I can do pencil work. I feel confident doing that and all that, yada yada. Um, so yeah, so I was just like, I did some searching around online. I think I even maybe sent him a message on DeviantArt or somewhere. Somehow I got in contact with him, and he gave me the settings he used. I can give them to you. I think I still have them. I can find out if I do. I'm pretty sure I do. The exact settings he has for scanned in pencils to look digitally inked at the time. Also, he gave me a list of the pencils he used and said that like he was doing super clean work, like light boxing and crisp, clean work, way cleaner than I was comfortable doing. And then he would scan it into Photoshop, put the settings in, and then he'd do digital cleanup, meaning like it's not perfect because it's a real life medium being scanned in, right? So there's some stuff you kind of have to adjust with some white, whatever. But regardless, I saw it, and just for him being so open, and I think there's this stigma that goes around, maybe rightfully so, but a lot of people just wish people didn't keep secrets. I guess, right, especially Marvel and DC artists, that he was so open that he'll forever, and I know he doesn't know who I am, but he'll forever be like a sweetheart to me, just being able to be so open to like a noob asking a question. And I got to meet him one year. I forget where I was when I went there. Maybe I think it was Toronto. He didn't know who the hell I was. I said thank you. You again, you probably don't know who I am, but thanks anyway for that. And I just wanted to say thanks since I met him. But regardless, eventually I just went back to trying to figure out how to do where we currently are, right, with like just digital stuff. But yep. Daniel, do you keep in mind where the Horizon Eye line level is in your drawings? If so, where exactly would it be in the first panel? Yeah, absolutely, I do. So I'll show you actually where it is in the first panel, just so you guys can see it. And if you're interested, whatever. If you head over to Patreon for $1 a month, you can cancel whatever. You can even go right now for the full month, cancel it, and go back. What I do for these Jessup pages is I put these kinds of things together. I'll show you. I showed this a little earlier, but I think you guys kind of dig it. This is for the process junkies out there, okay? So this is what I post. You get Jessup pages a week after they come, or a week before they come out, as well as the following day. You'll get this. So it's a thumbnail, what my breakdowns look like, and you can see, right? Like these are the grids that I'm putting in there. Super quick, and then just tight line art and inks over top. Okay. So if you're interested in process, but for this page in particular, this is page 39. Okay. So let's go to breakdowns. Watch me not actually have a grid on this one. Call me out on this one. Okay, yeah, so this one I'll show this. There's no shame. So this panel, I actually did this right here, where I copied a panel from another page and just tossed it in. All right. This one you can see the perspective, but let's try to find the actual one that came from. Give me a second, because I think it's a much smaller panel. That one. Yeah, it's right there. So we got our thumbnail, which is just a bunch of scribbly gook. And what panel's it? 3? Let's just see what the hell I had in here. Okay, so what I did is that, I didn't even put in a grid. I put silhouettes. Then I feel like there's something missing here. Yeah, okay, so this one, it's all just a bunch of straight lines. So that's why I didn't really care too much. But you can kind of see what I was doing there. I mean, call me out if you will. If you when you start to get in the habit of doing some of this stuff, you don't always need a grid. I'm just in the examples I was giving earlier today, if that's where you're coming from with that, I was just kind of getting a little, not angry, but a little aggressive with people just because I wanted, don't skip that step if you're not comfortable without using it. You know what I mean? So anyway, let me try to figure this out. Let's make a transparency layer here, and we will put Holy, good song. Okay, so I would say, right. So somewhere has to be. I'm just trying to look at like the perspective I've already put in here to figure it, right? So I've kind of got a line coming in here. This is what I do when I try to like figure out perspective that people have done. Try to find like shapes and stuff that they've put in here. And I know there's a lot of organic stuff in here, but we can see the underneath of this, so that I know that the horizon line has to be under that. So I'm starting to look for things that might look a little above it. So these guys are looking kind of flat. So I'm assuming it's probably around like here or something. It's probably eye level with Jesop. Right? So we can kind of get a point here. And then like from here, I know this is 1 point. Might be 2 point, but this is most likely what it is. Right? And probably, because I don't really usually just use 1 point, you can see like, this is the thing, because I copied those stairs and they're all flat, there really isn't a second point. It's all like just boring flat stuff. So this would be the grid. It's just 1 point perspective. Okay, so that would be the shot right there. Okay? I hope that helps. Charles, I used to listen to a lot of a podcast called Art and Story. Jersey mentioned that there's a new inker around the comic book world whose name is Levels. Jersey's an amazing guy. That podcast changed a lot for me. Honestly, did. It's no longer sadly going, but I highly recommend you guys give it a listen if it's something if comics are something you're interested in. There's a lot of value in what they talked about all the time on that show. And it's as they used to call it, evergreen content. Meaning it doesn't matter when you listen to it, it'll always be relevant, which is great. All right, I want Jessup. We need a sad color. Didn't we have? We used this before. This page is almost done, thankfully. Then we're moving on to flats for another one. Ugh. Let me just find the colors here. Because like I said before, I like to try to use colors back and forth from stuff. Is it this one for the sad? Just give me a second here, you guys. Trying to find it. Might be. I don't know if it's this one because it's just. Maybe it is. Let's try it. So what the hell kind of... What in the hell kind of gradient do I got going on here? What is that? What? So it's dark, and then I added light coming from the... Okay. Okay. I understand what you're doing here. Took me a little while to understand what in the F. And then we got to use our standard bright orange every time this guy yells. Cool. Whew. All right, let's save it up. Just gonna toss the text on here real quick just to make a quick check. Should be fine. Lots of dialogue, blah 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 blah. Everybody's talking, and then all right, cool. Turn that back off. Close all this stuff. I might have to reopen this, but just don't want all this crap open all the time. All right, let's get on with the next page. Like I say, these ones are going to go a lot quicker because there's actually the next page I think has one where it's a lot of dudes. This one's going to be a real treat to draw. I can't wait. La, 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 la. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Huinator? Awesome. I like that name. Keeman, did you hear what happened to Batman? No, what happened to Batman? What happened to Batman? Okay, so I want to do something here so I don't forget. Is we go edit, change resolution, we color in 300 dpi. Forgot to do that last time. And let's save it up here, save as color. Okay, so we got our artwork and we're going to merge it with our line art. Or sorry, with our inks. Okay, zoom in. Make sure it's all whatever. Then we're going to go and we're going to make it monochrome. Make a new layer. Go down here, layer. Combine selected layers. So it's still monochrome, great. But now, wait, actually, let me check how this looks. Let's do a little different this time. Yeah, it's fine. Can't even tell. Cool. Okay, so now we have to color our layers, right? So it's like a darkish blue black. Whoops. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. Edit for brightness to opacity. Get rid of all the white. So make sure it's still pixels. Yep. Cool. Now it's blue. Okay, so you guys remember? I know this was like 2 hours ago, but check this out. This is an action we made. This is just that's for me. Coloring folders. Check this out. So we've got everything's ready. I just click play on this one. It's gonna do a whole bunch of stuff. Go back. Look at all the folders just made. Ready to go. So I've got 5 panels here in that action. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't need this one. Bang. Delete. Now we're ready to go. We're ready to cook. So if you guys have been here since the beginning, when I did that, check out how much time that just saved me. It saved me maybe, what, a minute, 2 minutes? Maybe not that long. Maybe a minute at max to make that. But that goes on for the rest. So 60 pages ready to press a button, that's an hour. That's nuts. And now I will waste that minute reading your guys' chat to catch up. Well, the guy played him died. Oh, yeah. We heard that. Yep. Yeah. It's sad. let's grab. Maybe make him look like he's yelling that way. I don't know. Really? It looks like that? That's yuck. Maybe I can just bring these over too. I don't know how this is going to look. I'll try it. It's not bad. I mean, it's not. Yeah, maybe it is pretty bad. Sure, let's roll with it. See what happens. Okay, so this, let's put that in the group. Alright, let me grab my Pure F here. Let's make this a little easier. Daniel's saying, what happened to the idea where Jesop fuses with someone to make an armor Jesop? Oh, that was in the wrestling one. Not saying that's off the table, but that story I couldn't grab. Like I couldn't get my arms around like the why. It just kept going back and forth. It was causing more stress than just going with, in my mind, what was the easier one, which is what we're doing with what I'm doing right now. If that makes any sense at all. Yeah, flatting is time consuming, man. That's why uh, what you guys were saying earlier about hiring somebody and just having it click. I'm super excited. It's funny because this takes a while doing this, and once I add the shadow, like actually putting shadow on this doesn't take remotely as long as this does, and that's like my favorite part. So this is like making the cake, and the icing is eating it. Sorry, what? The icing is the shadow work. What the fuck? Kigai, curious. Doesn't the artwork have a flat white fill behind him already, or not in every case? You're just filling him with gray now. Sorry, what? Doesn't the artwork have a flag? Oh, yeah. So what you're talking about is something that I need to get more in the habit of. Right now, all the artwork is just on its own layer. It's flattened into its own layer. But since I do have the white layer, what I should be doing, you're right, yes, is I should be, excuse me, changing. I might actually try it in the next page, to be honest with you. We'll try it out. What he's saying is here. I'll show you. Let's actually open the next page of ink or color. Theoretically, it saves time. I know we did it before, but I think it just started getting messy. I'm not sure. Right, because this is how I do it. So with the inking layer, this line art layer, like I've already flattened it all, and now I ink it. And as each process goes on, I flatten, I flatten, I flatten. So in this layer here, there is no white contour layer. Remember, the way I work is I have multiple files. But yes, I should see if I can figure that out in the next page, because it would save like at least this gray part that I'm doing. It would fix that, and essentially even maybe possibly just remove the need for flatting altogether, right? Seen your other video showing that Freddy DC actions where you get the contour with white fill, but how exactly? By hiding all other artwork so you can auto select the space around it? No, when you're doing that, you have to make sure everything's on its own layer. So you can't make you could have multiple things, kind of like finished artwork like I'm doing, but it's recommended that, like, let's say you're drawing Superman, just have Superman on his own layer or own layers, and when you're using the wand tool, have it just select whatever's in that, like group all those things into a Superman folder, and then when you click your wand tool, you'll have an option up here from current layer, all layers, reference layer. Pick one of those that's going to select all that, and then just do it again. That's all. It might be a little, like I'm not claiming it's not. It's a little complicated at first until you wrap your head around what it's actually doing, and then it starts to go, like, for me anyway, it started to click, and it was like, okay, like now I'm kind of understanding what the hell's going on. I think he's done. Yeah, you're welcome. Why is it? What the weird? I just need the spit color, I think, and that's it. Alright. And let's keep doing it over and over again. Now this, I want him coming out of shadows here. So I think, let's see, I'm probably going to use that blackish gray, but let's just go through this. Maybe I had color before that I liked. This purple's kind of cool. I think we're going to use that. I think this guy's the same color as a Doblin. That should save some time. All right, well, I think I'm going to call it, you guys. We'll start working on more of this over the weekend. Okay, well, I want to say thank you, everybody that stuck around with me during the whole stream. And if not, that's cool too for when you did. If you're watching the recording, thanks so much. If it's your first time watching this stuff, feel free to subscribe to the channel and you get notified whenever I go live. If not, these video recordings, they go up usually like a week after. Just in the normal feed. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And as usual, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.